This episode contains violence. I shall be in mortal peril. Use your discretion, for I know you love me and might faint to consider a knife pointed to my swan-like throat. From 1603 and Tudor Time Machine, this is episode 2 of Out Brief Candle, an inquiry into a murder at the Globe Theatre.
I'm Gage.
I'm Jessica.
And we are Tudor Time Machine. Don't miss any of Philadelphia's adventures. Subscribe to our Tudor Time Machine channel on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast streaming site.
In episode 1, Philadelphia and her maid Jane snuck out of court dressed as lads. Philadelphia rendezvoused with theater superstar Richard Burbage. But it all went haywire when a murder was discovered. Philadelphia and Jane tried to escape, but the theater has been quarantined.
Philadelphia stole back to the tiring room to find her amour, Richard Burbage. Philadelphia, you were startled by a terrible wail and then we lost you. What happened?
Dear Ningles, I did not know what to do. That scream pierced my heart. I had to know the source of that babbling river of pain. I am no shirker. I jetted towards the sound. But then another cry. 'Twas my Dickie B lamenting. Alack, alack. Then a chorus of other wails. Dickie B was not alone, and I dared not reveal myself to the compromising eyes of common judgment. I froze, unsure, alone. Yet I could not stay put for a murderer or a fresh ghost to find me. Jane hissed, "Mistress, voices do come from the direction of the hut." Though I had thought the very same before she spoke. All the players were gathered in the hut.
In the hut? What is that?
It was part of the theater building, a room above the tiring house where theater effects were operated. All the sound effects and scenery changes and props. The hut was central to the life of the theater.
Someone could conceal themselves in the hut because it was dark in there, and there's a lot of stuff to hide behind.
Avaunt! The hut was an unknown battleground, and so, as the great captains do, I bid Jane, my foot soldier, advance. Should the murderer jump from the shadows, Jane would want to take the blow. Loyal lass. I paused at the bottom of the stairs. "Jane," I hissed, "spy and return quickly." I gave her a little nudge. The darkness ate her form. Gentle friends, I worried for my fate, for I discovered in this place, in boy's attire, Pitikins, the interrogation that would ensue. My family would scorn me. I would be heartlessly ridiculed at court and held up as the great whore of Babylon. Oh, horrible, horrible. And Burbage, they would ruin him. My heart did pound in my ears. Oh, why had Jane abandoned me?
But you did tell her to go.
Silence, blabbering blunderheads. Mistress! Jane did give me a start. Company stands about the room, distraught, and I do bethink me they stand about an unmoving body, and there I saw dark red upon the floor. I cannot forswear it's blood. Oh, mistress, blood of a man who did walk this earth. Is Burbage there? I asked. I believe so, madam. Alas, madam, I cannot forswear. My courage rising with my curiosity, I commanded, "Follow your lioness." The stairway up to the hut was dark as the deepest well. The wall oozed and voices swirled. I took cover behind a great pasteboard wave and pushed Jane down behind me.
What did you see?
All the playing company was there. Yes, and my Burbage too. And I could just see a body lay crumpled on the ground, a blade in his neck, blood pooled on the floor. Oh, 'twas a most terrible scene.
How did you keep it together?
I corked my mouth. Yet, I must confess, the body did fright me much. But then, oh, something more terrible. Something That brought a piercing scream up in my throat.
Someone covered in blood?
Another plague doctor?
A second lifeless body?
'Twas Mistress Winifred Burbage! Winifred, Richard Burbage's wife!
There's a murderer in the theater, and you're worried about Richard Burbage's wife?
You know nothing of court and class, you low-born, time-stuck pod lady. Winifred Burbage is a jealous bit of baggage. She would like nothing better than to rat on me to my brother.
Why would she tell your brother?
Well, I just remembered Philadelphia's brother was George Carey's second Baron Hunden, the patron of Shakespeare's company. And Philadelphia's father was their patron before him.
What?
My brother would be livid to know of my amour with Dickie B.
And you think Winifred would tell on you?
Yes, she is an angry wasp with a deadly sting.
So you've had run-ins with her before?
Never. I enter the sphere of one so low. How can you think it? I know nothing of the woman.
I'm confused.
Me too.
How do you know what she will do if you don't know her?
Because it is what I would do if I were in her place, the fishwife. Though, now that I think on it, it might be that she would not expose Burbage, for she herself holds shares in the theatre company and would not want to ruin his favour with my brother. And yet she is a vicious crow, and might well bring ruin on us all. How she did hang about Burbage's neck!
Let's just forget Winifred for a second, okay? Could you hear what anyone else in the group was saying?
Glimpsing that woman, I ducked behind my pasteboard wave in a swoon. Jane revived me with an annoying pinch. I sat bolt upright and saw all the party had dispersed.
And they left the body there.
Oh, indeed. Perhaps they went to gather a winding sheet or some such, I know not. All I know is that that terrible Winifred was nowhere in sight. Yet still I am in a predicament. Burbage cannot aid me to escape back to court with witchy wife Winifred about. I must create my own stratagem. What to do? 'Tis a serious crime, murder. Perchance there is a villain about. Or no, perhaps only a drunken fool. Low people often kill each other because of drink.
Oh, come on, Philadelphia. People of the court kill each other for so many ridiculous reasons.
Only deservedly, for a slight. A duel is often the right tact. But I shall tell you, I do not believe this was a drunken fight. Why not? Aha! I heard footsteps. Dove behind the scenery again. I put my eye to a tiny hole and beheld two figures, one round, one a reed. I knew these men. One was Robert Armin, the other William Sly.
I've heard those names.
They were actors with Shakespeare's company. Armin was famous as a comedian. I'm pretty sure Sly was a shareholder in the company.
Philadelphia, did you see them do anything with the body? Did they touch it or move it?
They did not shed a tear, for I will tell you that they went about their own criminal doings. Oh, what rascally doings I have seen in this adventure. 'Tis better than a play.
What criminal doings? Did they tamper with the body? Maybe they were trying to destroy evidence.
What rogues they showed themselves. Sly drew a key from his pocket and unlocked a large chest and studied the contents. Fie on the minkins! He drew out bottles of wine, which he passed to Armin, who put them in a basket. They were in a great hurry. Their forms seemed to my eyes covered in the letters Guilty. They were moving wine, getting it out of the hut. Sly lowered a basket laden to the stage, and then ran down the stairs. Then the player Armin did something that makes me think that these men are the culprits of the deadly deed. Armin stood and spat upon the body and said, "There, Robert Pavey, is your final tribute."
That's horrible.
Wow, Armin did it.
Armin stabbed Robert Pavey in the neck. Would he really do such a terrible thing?
Armin and Sly are smugglers. Jane, who as a low-class maid has a great understanding of the threat of the lower classes, has enlightened me as to what these fellows Armin and Sly were about with their wine bottles. Privateers are paid to bring wine from Catholic kingdoms, France and Spain. The wine is sold to smugglers who sell it directly to avoid the tax on foreign goods. 'Tis a gainful ruse. I will give the ruffians that. 'Tis a gainful ruse.
Are you thinking about getting into the smuggling business yourself, Philadelphia?
Oh, fie on you. 'Tis against God and country. And this Armin and this Sly are cold-blooded. Even as the body of Robert Pavey lay before them, they thought only of their pockets. Oh, the heathens!
But what was Pavey's role in the smuggling? Why would Armin spit on him and say, "There's your final tribute"?
Aye, the tribute. Jane, my low-born puppy-wit, says that the phrase tribute means that Pavey, no doubt, was leveraging a portion of these scoundrels' profits to pay for his silence. Jane says her own cousin, a smuggler by trade, was found out by a neighbor and had to pay the man to keep his mouth shut.
With Pavey dead, Armin and Sly can make more money because they don't have to give a portion to a dead man.
Backstab the blackmailer. 'Tis not the end of it. These reprobates did slink away, and I was left alone with the body of Robert Pavey.
But who is or was Robert Pavey?
A boy player. He played the women's roles. I have seen him in many a theatrical.
And you knew him personally?
I have seen him, but I was not acquainted with him. I am a lady.
Yes, but weren't you always hanging around backstage with your lover, Burbage?
In disguise, in secret, never out in the open. What think you? No one can know of my amour for Burbage. Word of it will shame me and bring my family's wrath upon me. I would be banished from court. Do you not understand the perilous path I tread to be the lover of Burbage? I acquaint myself with a Pavey? Never. But it is true, the body was that of the young, conniving Pavey. Avaunt, the next thing I did was a queenly inquiry. I approached the corpse.
Yikes. Why would you approach the body?
Well, to examine the crime scene, determine the time of death, that sort of thing.
But who do you think Philadelphia is, Columbo?
Well, she just needs a lollipop. I think she's kind of getting into this true crime thing.
But without all our modern methods, how did they determine the time of death in the 16th century?
Well, I suppose it was based on outward signs, the temperature of the body, how stiff it was, the color. They used observation.
Well, Philadelphia, what did you observe?
I crept close. I looked full upon the corpse. Pavey was so very pale and blue about the lips, yet wizened. It was a strange weapon jutting from his throat. It had a long handle, most like a pen, and I could just barely see the glint of steel. The smell of blood filled my head, and I thought I would faint, yet I forced myself to look full upon the sight.
Oh my God, Philadelphia, you have a strong stomach.
Did you notice anything about the wound? That might give a clue as to how the murder occurred. I'm saying that because I've watched a lot of true crime and they always examine the body for clues. I don't really know. I desired to find a clue. I am curious. I have been cast into this world of murder at the Globe, and I am compelled. And so the wound was cruel. The neck has much blood in it, and it spilled down his chest where he fell. It pooled about him. His chest was bare. He wore no jerkin, no doublet, some sort of galligaskins. All was covered in the most gory sheen of blood.
I do not think I could look at that.
Philadelphia, you are not faint of heart.
So the dagger caused his death. That seems clear. But was there anything else?
Did it look like he grabbed anything, like in self-defense? I wonder why he didn't have a shirt on.
Oh, now you're the detective, Jessica. I've always heard of defensive wounds. Did you notice anything on his hands?
Am I a traitor on the rack that you turn the crank with questions for me? I am a lady. I need breath to consider. Now I do think on't. Pavey held no weapon, but his hands were crossed across his chest.
They were. That is so strange. Did you see one of the company members cross his arms when they were standing over the body?
No, but we are all Christians. It is decorous and right. And his eyes were closed.
So someone crossed his hands across his chest and closed his eyelids.
Wow, I wonder, did the killer do that? Or maybe it was whoever first found the body.
Who did find the body? I wonder, do you have any idea, Philadelphia?
Alack, I do not know.
You said Jane disturbed you and Richard Burbage in the tiring room because she heard something frightening. What was it?
I am unsure.
Maybe the howl of a dog?
I thought it was the opening of the gates of hell. But I know not what was in this world. Oh, Pitikins, there are so many questions. It is all such a bedazzling puzzle. It makes my blood quicken. Now I think on't, when Dickie B and I heard the ruckus before Jane appeared at the door, could that have been the moment of the bloody deed? Oh, no, hark! I hear another step on the stair. Oh, I must retreat behind my wave again. Friends, Tudorphiles, True Crime Amantes, listen in next time to Our Brief Candle and subscribe on YouTube. Make Tudor Time Machine a huge presence on the web. We lost Philadelphia again.
Oh, no. I wanted to hear more.
Me too, but only because we're here and the murder is there at the Globe Theatre.
Listen in next time to Out Brief Candle. Out Brief Candle is a production of 1603 and Tudor Time Machine. And many thanks to barber surgeon Master Mark. And you'll look fantastic in our Out Brief Candle swag. The link is on the YouTube channel. You'll be Tudorific in the t-shirts. And thank you for joining us.